Welcome back to my little channel, and welcome in 2019. I thought I would do a video bringing me back to my roots, as if it were. I once started making videos about feminism, and why I think feminism is a bad idea. And I still think feminism is a bad idea. And on average, I always said, at the end of my videos on feminism, debate me, come prove me wrong. Or give me an argument and prove me wrong. I mean, it's not true because I say it is, it's true because I did my research. But I may have missed something, and if I did, by all means, prove it to me. Because I'm willing to learn. And for this very reason, I'm going to address the next video. It's going to be a response video. Link will be down below. But don't go there and harass these creators. To them, I open up an invitation at the very start of this video. Come and debate me. Not to be stronger, but let's have an open discussion, an open debate on whether you're right and whether I'm wrong. And how can we help each other? Because feminism, to me, is a huge problem in our society, but there are still people out there who seem to think it's a necessary evil. I don't understand that. But okay, so this is the goal of the video. Let's see where it goes. Like, share and subscribe if you feel so inclined. I'm going to say that right up front. And criticism, as always, is more than welcome. So I look forward to hear what you have to say. And this is what they will have to say.
Why? Why?
Yeah, I sped that up a little bit, but I guess their question is why? Why what? Well, in this case, why feminism? And they have answers. Let's listen to them.
I love getting out of class when it's dark outside and feeling unsafe when I walk home at night.
Okay. I'm not sure if you could hear what she had to say, but she loves leaving class after dark. Because sexual assault. Well, because of assault. And you know what? I'm not in favor of any form of assault. So let that be known. But first, let's recognize that men are more likely to be assaulted than women. But when women get assaulted, it automatically becomes sexual assault. So yeah, women score higher on that sexual assault than men because of this way of looking at it. But they don't score nearly as high on the assault line as men. And the 1 in 5 number has been debunked so very often. I'm not even going to go there. The 1 in 5 number isn't even true for the Congo. And the Congo has rape camps due to political discourse and an outright civil war. Thing is, assault is a problem, and sexual assault is a problem too. But it's not a gendered one.
You know, I just love when my reproductive health is seen as a privilege instead of a necessity. I love that.
Okay, so how is your reproductive health care not a privilege? I am curious about this. Are you claiming that it's an entitlement, that it's something that should come necessarily to you? Because how is your reproductive health any different than, for example, my breathing health? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a staunch defender of a good health system. But it's not an entitlement. And me being allowed to pay for good healthcare, even if I have to pay for it, is still a privilege. Because let's be honest, the healthcare we are getting in the Western world is nowhere as bad as the healthcare that people get in the third world. So, yes, it is a privilege. And yes, I'm more than willing to believe that too many women died during childbirth and too many children do not survive their own birth. But to be honest, every day 1.6 thousand women and more than 10,000 newborn die because of preventable complications during pregnancy and childbirth. Yeah, maybe globally, but not in the Western world, my dear. I mean, America has about 700 women a year dying because of complications at childbirth. And to me, that's 700 too many. But it's a lot less than 1,000 per day. See, this is what I mean. Feminism fills your head with bullshit and lies. Now, there are plenty of problems. This is not one of them.
I love it when men try to explain things to me that I already know.
Okay, well done. You got to bring in the word mansplaining. And you already know what they're going to explain to you, and therefore either I am mansplaining to you right now, but you already know that I'm right, or I'm telling you something new. Would that still be mansplaining? Anyway, you're confusing the situation by giving us information that is rather inaccurate. Now, yeah, one could say you're doing this on purpose, and I claim feminism is doing it on purpose. But the thing is, I don't think you are doing it on purpose. I really think you guys are being misled. Which isn't that weird, because we've all been misled by feminism. But that's a different topic altogether. Let's continue.
I just love being seen as an object. Just love it. So great.
2 points at one again. Let's start with the first one. You're showing us women shaking their ass. Fair enough. One could be arguing that this is objectification. It's not though, but that's a different discussion altogether. You know why they are showing women, good-looking women, in commercials and video clips and in movies, let's be honest. Because if you want to sell something to men, you want that product advertised by a good-looking woman. And if you want to sell something to women, that product needs to be advertised by a good-looking woman. Kind of funny, isn't it? Well, I mean, women also like good-looking men, so it depends on the product, I guess. But yeah, no, women respond well to good-looking women as well. The thing is, and this is where the self-objectification comes in, self-objectification, try saying that 10 times fast, no, I'm not gonna to, is not so much a psychological problem because women are seen as objects. It's a problem because people suffering from self-objectification do not see themselves as people. They see themselves as lacking. It is a form of dysphoria that is very problematic. Now, it's not just happening to women. Men suffer from it too. So, again, it's not really the reality you're pushing now, is it? I mean, the reality is, I don't like women being objectified because self-objectification. It's kind of like saying, I don't like traveling by train because boats. Please, stop doing this. Now, the worst part is there will be people actually believe this nonsense. But it is nonsense. And you are addressing a serious problem. Self-objectification is a serious problem. It is in no way linked to looking at beautiful men or beautiful women. It is an identity crisis. It is a dysphoria. It's a serious problem. And you're making light of it to push a political point. Kind of upsetting, to be honest.
I personally love that cisgender men get control over my vagina. It really makes the choice a lot easier.
Yeah, you're not passive-aggressive at all. Why would people think that? But being pro-life is not the same as taking control over your vagina. Now, you want to abort, I assume, because this is what pro-life or pro-choice is about. So, fair enough, you want to abort. Am I in favor of abortions? No, not really. But it depends, though. I am in favor of abortions when there is a health issue. I'm not in favor of abortions when it's merely a form of birth control. And I know that as soon as you start talking about abortions, people will start talking about, yeah, but the rape victims. Okay, that's 1% of abortions. So how about the other 99%? Okay, let's not make it like that. Let's make it a lot different. Let's say it's a bigger percentage. Let's say it's health and rape, and well, that's basically the two things, isn't it? Let's say that's 10% of all abortions. That still means that 90% of all abortions are not these things. And out of the 30 governors who were pro-life, only 6 of them were women. Were all female governors pro-life? And I may be wrong, I'm not that good with American politics, but as far as I can find, in 2016, there were only 6 women governors. And all 6 of them were pro-life. So maybe that will tell you something, that this isn't a male-female thing. That there are females out there that are pro-life. Rather a large group of female out there are pro-life. Now, they're not automatically against abortion, but most of them, like myself, are against abortion as a form of birth control. And free abortions? Why the hell should you get it for free when nothing else is?
I love being seen as a bitch when I do the same thing that a man does to be seen as a leader. Love it.
I cannot help but notice that time and again you're bringing 2 points. You say something and then you give us a little bit of black and white information on something that is loosely correlated to what you said. Okay, so first let's address what you said. If you do the same thing a man does, then yeah, people will look at you differently because you're not a man, you're a woman. The same is true for men. If a man does the same thing a woman does, people will look at him strangely. But somehow, when this happens to men, it's not an issue. When it happens to women, it is. I do not know why. There's a reason, for example, in schooling, most of the preliminary school teachers are females nowadays. Because when a man takes a job like that, he's frowned upon. How's that fair? And now addressing your text, while women hold almost 52% of all the professional level jobs, they only account for 14% of the executive, 8% of the top earners, and 4% of the Fortune 500 CEOs. Yeah, could it be, just putting it out there, could it be that this is not about male and female, but people doing what they want to do? Because let's be honest, I don't want to be a top CEO, and therefore I will never be one. And I work in healthcare, most of my colleagues are female. And I do have female bosses, as you call them, they're team leaders. So I do not recognize your point, but I do recognize your abuse of reality. See,
I really like it when I go to report a sexual assault and I get victim blamed. But maybe that one hits a little too close to home.
and once again we have 2 different points. One, you feel that you cannot go to the police and report a sexual crime on you because you feel that the questions they ask you are tantamount to victim blaming. Personally, I would think it's tantamount to trying to figure out what the hell happened. But no, victim blaming. I'm going to go with your version then. And the second point you're making, more than 90% of sexual assault victims on college campuses do not report the assault. Now here's the kicker. How do you know? Well, yeah, but people talk about it. Well, if they talked about it, they report it. Yeah, but they didn't go to the police. Well, then that's the problem, isn't it? I mean, you can't blame the police not acting on stuff that hasn't been told to them. You can't fight crime if no one talks about that the crime actually happened in an official capacity. It's kind of like the Kavanaugh case all over again, where this woman Ford is blaming Kavanaugh did something bad to him, and she's going to Washington to talk about it, but she's not officially creating a police report. Because let's be honest, as long as she talks about it, people are interested and they're listening to her. Hell, she made millions off of that little thing. But if she would have gone to the police, then she had to have at least some evidence, and she had none. So, yeah, it's easy to talk that you're a victim of a crime and get Munchausen attention, but it's not so easy to lie about being a victim of a crime against the police, because that's actually a crime. Could that also be part of why 90% of sexual assault victims on college campuses do not report the assault? Because let's be honest, could it be that they're not actually assault victims, but they like to talk as if they were? Because it gives them attention, doesn't it? It gives them lots of attention. Anyway, it's a terrible thing to lie about being a victim of sexual violence. Yeah, it definitely is. But unfortunately, we've seen plenty of cases where this has happened. And yeah, that means that people have to be more careful in what they do and do not believe. Now, I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to openly invite these women to come and talk to me about why they think feminism is a good idea. And I will grant them the ability to do so. And I hope they will come with honesty and not with stuff that they put in this video, because most of it is, well, I've said it earlier, they're cuntfusing the situation. It's not reality. It's not completely lies, but it's obfuscating reality. And in this case, it's actually not helping anyone. It's creating the us versus them narrative even more. But there's a reason why most women don't even call themselves feminists, because they recognize this. Oh, and I do have to apologize. During the last few minutes, my little kid is sitting next to me, and I can't really kick him out now, can I? He's such a lovely boy. So, yeah, like, share, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Criticism, as always, is more than welcome. And once again, this is an open invitation to anyone out there feeling that they can defend feminism. By all means, come on, and I'll have an open discussion with you. And I'm not going to call names, and I assume you're not going to call names, and we're going to have an honest and open discussion. Anyway, see you all next time.